50 Cent has just given an interview that could send shockwaves throughout the industry, because he's just gone after Diddy and Jay-Z both, and exposed some truly shocking stuff about them. And the interesting thing here is that 50 didn't just stop with Diddy, he's bringing Jay-Z into the mix now too. He's suggesting that Jay-Z and Diddy Rihanna was trafficked to Death Jam. She was an innocent baby when she came over here, and look at her, she 14, going on 15 years old, flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the Saquon morning in a hotel room, auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning. A 14-year-old girl, she was flown to another country. She was taken to the Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours. Alone with no parent supervision. A father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest deal in Def Jam history, have been tight from the beginning, collaborating on business events and after parties. It's raising questions about what 50 might know that we don't, and what Jay-Z might be trying to hide. 50's teasing that if people think Diddy's bad, they should wait until they hear what's going on with Jay, such as how his marriage is a business arrangement. But what's surprising this time is 50 Cent's tone he known for relentlessly mocking Diddy, and while he hasn't stopped entirely, there's a shift on Instagram. 50 posted alongside a headline about Diddy's latest allegations saying, "I ran into you somewhere," and Rihanna hadn't. She had really never even been heard of at this point, and you walked up to me, you said, "That's my artist," and I was struck by that. Never forget those words. That's my artist, and you were proud, man. And you were like, wow, this is a discovery of mine. And then she exploded, and you know, she lit up. How hands-on are you in terms of managing her career? Well, we actually manage her now. We didn't manage her in the beginning. I signed her as an artist on Def Jam. How do you know? Where do you meet? Where do you find a girl like that? She actually walked into my office. She has a lawyer, Scott Felcher, and he knew Jay Brown, who works with me, and they made the introduction. He played him this song, Ponder the Replay, which was her first single she had already. And she walked into the office, and you know, I heard the record, and I was really afraid of the record. It was so big that I thought the record would be bigger than her. I thought the record, she would be the pawn to replay Girl forever. Yeah, but I took the meeting anyway. I said, let me just meet her. And beautiful girl. When I met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into her room, and her confidence. And she performed in my office, and she was, what, 17 years old at that point. She was 16, and she has the confidence of, she's like an old soul in a sense, right? Absolutely. So she walks in your office, and what she just belts, out of tune she performs. And I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day. Wow, everything is there. So we signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office, really. The 3 in the morning was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 in the morning that day. I was absolutely certain. How often does that happen? Damn, I hope you all, right? If you're cool with him, check on him. All jokes aside, this was right after he sarcastically predicted Diddy's legal trouble, saying, "I told you here, they come in 5, 4, 3, 2, 150. Sarcasm is nothing new. He's always had a sharp tongue when it comes to Diddy. When Cassie's lawsuit again, she was ashamed, unwilling to speak until now. To those of us who thought, how could it happen to someone so strong? I am strong. This happened to me. I didn't cause this. I didn't do it. This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. There are a lot of women who have experienced what I did, but not in the public, so it made it really difficult. I just felt like, oh my God, here it goes. My little bit of privacy, just people exposed, like it's something that nobody wants anybody to know. So here I am, the whole world knowing why be ashamed, because that I didn't want people to think that that's the kind of person I fell in love with. That person that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. That's the type of person that I fell in love with, so far in love, so unconditional that I went back on average. I think it takes a woman 7 times before she leaves 8 or 9 actually, and I don't want that to happen. That's not what I want to teach people. Since Diddy came out, 50 posted, "Damn brother, love you out here," looking crazy as AF with a photo of himself peering into the camera. When Diddy settled the lawsuit a day later, 50 didn't hold back, saying, "LOL, he paid that money real quick. Should have done that before the shark saw the blood in the water," given all of 50's history of ridiculing Diddy. His more serious tone, well, another celebrity has been caught up in the Sean Combs legal and PR saga. Maybe nightmare is the way to say it this time. R&B superstar Chris Brown is who we're talking about. The Grammy Award-winning musician behind tracks like Forever. Under the influence run, an unnamed woman who only goes by Jane Doe spoke out in a new documentary on Investigation Discovery. It is called Chris Brown, A History of Violence. And she claims that what was supposed to be a night of glamour and excess on a Miami yacht turned essentially into a terrifying situation. She accuses Chris Brown of drugging and raping her at a party on this yacht, and this yacht was docked outside of Combs' Miami mansion back in December of 2020, and that essentially she was walking into a trap as the champagne flowed and music pulsed. Brown allegedly handed her drink after drink. She said, quote, "I don't remember if I saw him pour it, but I just drank it, and he just hands me another drink," she says in the documentary. As I'm standing there, I did start to feel kind of tired and my body was feeling a little heavy, and that is when Brown allegedly led her to a bedroom on the yacht, sprawled out on the bed, and then climbed up on top of her and literally threw tears. She says on the documentary how she couldn't move, and that is when she says Chris Brown assaulted her. The details are stomach churning, but Doe describes feeling so disgusted as Brown allegedly kissed her and literally muffled her protest so she couldn't scream out. She essentially claims that she was powerless to stop the assault that she was trapped in. This drug-induced haze phone lately has caught people off guard. Many believe that if 50 is toning down his jokes, it might mean something bigger is coming, and Diddy could be faced. Did he turn me down? So how did the meeting go? And then what did Diddy say? Why did he turn you down? We get into the office, so we do the performance like we nervous, but we just do the text, boom, all right. And so he was just like, cool, cool. He said, yeah, I like this, cool, I don't like this. Over here, this little over here. Music said that's just melted in that goddamn office, and I said, look, I said sup, and you 12 years old, yeah, how's in that elevator probably crying like? But so I got to ask, yeah, your partner was dark skinned. I mean, I got asked my brothering even more serious consequences. There's speculation that 50 knew about Diddy's situation before it even became public because he was talking about it just before the news broke. 50 Cent's long history of taunting Diddy isn't new. He's been throwing jabs at Diddy for years, even suggesting that Diddy was involved in orchestrating the Tupac shooting recently. Gun It rapper Tony Yo confirmed in an interview with Vlad TV that 50 and Diddy had a meeting about a potential deal that didn't go through. According to Yayo, not signing 50 Cent was one of the biggest mistakes Bad Boy ever made during the meeting. Diddy mentioned that there were 3 things people didn't like about rappers and expressed concerns about signing 50 due to the drama surrounding Biggie Smalls and other factors. This meeting apparently happened after 50 released his 19. What does Tony Busby say about Jay-Z, the artist, the businessman? Well, the complaint begins defendant Sean Combs, along with his longtime friend and collaborat Sean Carter, drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. Another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Many others were present at the after party, but did nothing to stop the assault. Combs had been allowed for years to conduct himself in this manner without any consequences. He believes he is above the law. He is not his close friend. Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described here, and both perpetrators must face justice. So that seems to suggest that Shaw Carter Jay-Z was not only present or participated in this alleged what is essentially a crime, but for other instances, and that's really interesting. That's why I bring up this idea of could he be hit with more lawsuits if you take these allegations as true? Now, the complaint goes on to say Combs and Carter were not simply occasional collaborators in the music industry. The two men developed a close friendship that has been well documented from the late 1990s to the present. Together, they attended countless music industry events for each other's business ventures, parties, and after parties. Indeed, the two are apparently so close that Combs stated in 2023 that Carter is the only person other than Combs' mother who was allowed to call him by his legal first name of Sean in 2000, near the height of their fame power and influence. Combs and Carter attended the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City after W. Combs hosted an after party for many of the most famous celebrities in the music and entertainment industries, including Carter, which is where the events alleged in this complaint occurred. I should also say that Busby also used this complaint to address an alleged harassment campaign that he claims Jay-Z started after Busby reached out about his involvement in the suit. The complaint reads, Carter was identified in PFF's original complaint as celebrity, a Prior to the filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter upon present information and belief. Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, the one that I mentioned before, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiff's lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in attempt to silence Puff from naming Jay-Z herein. This effort was meant to scare Puff and to discredit her counsel. That effort failed indeed. Puff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetuated by Carter 99's single, How to Rob, where he famously included lyrics about extorting Diddy and other well-known rappers. The speculation around Diddy's current legal trouble only grew when rumors surfaced about Diddy's house being raided, and of course 50 Cent didn't miss the opportunity to comment. He posted a screenshot showing Diddy's two sons, Justin and King, comes inside the building, recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talk to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she wanted to see at the VMAs. Wait staff circulated throughout the room, carrying trays of drinks, and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitress circulating the crowd. The drink was a reddish yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an actual exemplar container used by Combs and/or his agent SL employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below, and these are the photos included in the lawsuit that show a small plastic container that the plaintiff claims contained drugs at the party. The woman, remember, who claimed she was 13 at the time, says she felt woozy and went to look for a place to lay down soon after Combs entered the room, along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. HM's aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes. As she grew more and more disoriented, plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter was finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Holmes then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Holmes then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt, being escorted out of Diddy's Los Angeles home in handcuffs. 50 captioned it with "I on just got real, the feds and all the cribs. Damn, they got the kids in cuffs," in another post showing the feds outside Diddy's home, he wrote. Now, it's not Diddy, do it. It's Diddy, done they don't. You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life. A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity. What made you want to come forward and talk today? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet. But it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close to be all alone. No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof jug ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out. In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury the night of the 2000s VMAs. She says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Coles' limo driver who offered her a ride to an after party. "I stumbled upon Daddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for. What did you think when he said that to you? I thought it meant that I was just pretty." She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians. Benji Madden and his brother. I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, you know, I have a really his about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about at the after party. She says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched JC comes in and rapes me. He at that point I was fighting trying to get away from him. And he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the after the alleged rapes. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home. We wrote home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was. Come like that, unless they got a case, this view has been corroborated by many people who were close to Diddy. Once upon a time, it seems like 50/50 Cent is capitalizing on recent legal trouble to keep their long-standing feud alive. 50, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, posted a video made by a social media user labeling Diddy as too freaky for society, this lated one-off case that he has to defend. Or potentially it could be a Me Too type situation where other victims come forward. Obviously we saw that with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. So the coming days and weeks are really going to be telling, and Tony Busby says has more than 100, maybe up to 300 victims is representing. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of them also name Jay-Z and Nima. If such a high-profile name like Jay-Z has come out, could more celebrity names be tied to these lawsuits? What do you think we can expect? No question, this may just be the first celebrity Domino and Jay-Z was unmasked as celebrity. Hey, but let's not forget, there's a celebrity B in that same lawsuit that allegedly witnessed the sexual assault the F celebrity, and there was someone who went on CNN earlier this week and said that his sexual assault was witnessed by another celebrity as well. So I think we're gonna see more celebrity names identified very soon. Alright, Nar Ron, thank you so much for joining us. As you said, this is one that has entered the court of public opinion. It's nice to have your actual legal advice on this one. 50 didn't hold back, adding a sarcastic caption ran off and left the kids in the whole house. Yo, he doing the race, said. This comes right after federal agents conducted raids on Dide's homes in California and Florida. Naturally, rumors spread that 50 might have tipped off the feds. Only adds more fuel to their ongoing rivalry. This is why haven't anybody came out defending Diddy, all these celebrity friends he have, and nobody came out. They brand it's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie with the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America like that. So now these people are represented by a brand, whether it's some about the music, clothing, movies. They not going to come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being alled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying so until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here, we got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape. And girl looked like she was pretty young. Music, we're not going to show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love P Diddy Puff Daddy. You know, Sean comes, that's when they gonna start talking, and they not going to be talking in his favor when the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape. Because if he had 250 tapes all over the 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing the cookie. Out the cookie jar, it could be your favorite pastor, it could be your favorite politician, but they didn't think they was being watched, and Brother Love was watching. Yeah, I mean, TDJ, he haven't even came out and said anything, and him and Diddy was real cool. Hey man, laughter. Amen? Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man didn't LED them. Probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation because those people, heart's going to be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything, because people all always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man and he has a history. It's not looking too good for him. So you feel like CBS are worried that they might be on T. Oh, they know that's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at the Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form of fashion, and you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they a little loose, bro. They let down all they inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you gotta take your clothes off. He said that himself, bro. Jay-Z's been in the spotlight for decades, and his name seems to pop up in nearly every major conversation since 50, and Jay's rivalry dates back to the late 90s. It's not surprising that 50 would use this opportunity to take a shot at both their beef. Originally started with 50 mentioning Jay-Z in his 1999 track, How to Rob, to which Jay responded with a lyric, and those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage? 2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs? This is gonna be all speculation. I just want to preface it by, he wouldn't know if they were right. Appear to let me rephrase it, based on yes. Understand, out of the 8 celebrities, who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs? How many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or into the influence? All of them, out of those 8, how many appeared to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing? I think, all, to be honest, all were victims, were perpetrating. They were victimized, meaning this was happening to them, and they were inebriated, right? Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing. And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors? 2 to 3, possibly 3 in his own song. It's Hot Some Like It Hot saying, I'm about $1. What the F is 50 cents? This led to years of back and forth tension between the two. The feud escalated when 50 Cent released his response track, Be a Gentleman, in 2002, directly challenging Jay-Z with pointed lyrics. This part of his compilation mixtape, Guess Who's Back? And we intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not gonna do it in interviews. We're not gonna do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're gonna start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names. And you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in this in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows. Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed a visit with him in private about it, away from his parents once. They were in a private area. Allegedly, Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual minor was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given 1 drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, was attended a group dinner allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something she blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed again, allegedly with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore, further intensified the rivalry between these two WRA heavyweights. But surprisingly, despite all the tension, both 50 Cent and Jay-Z have acknowledged that the rivalry helped elevate 50's career. 50 even admitted that when Jay responded to his diss track, it was a compliment, wouldn't have responded to someone he didn't consider a threat then in 2003 when 50 Cent's career skyrocketed.